All right, let's go. Hey, we right here in the mix. Come on now, dog. Hey, look, I was planning on actually streaming a lot sooner than later. Got busy. Had a lot of things to do. But we back in action. I would love to make this an occurrence that happens more often than normal, but I just have a lot of ideas that are floating through my mind. But we are on like a murder, mystery, crime, gang-esque kind of stream right now. So if you're interested in that and not too squeamish, then this is the stream for you. So appreciate you for coming through. If you know who Tommy G is a guy that goes around different treacherous neighborhoods and talks to like gang leaders and like some of the most diabolical people on this planet. And he just does like a documentary, like a little mini documentary with them. So that's what we better check out.
Who are the Trinitarios?
Dangerous, notorious.
You can search it up. We're the most dangerous gang.
It is a Dominican gang the NYPD has been watching and fighting for years.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tommy G. I'm in Hunts Point, the most dangerous neighborhood in New York, and today I'm with the Trinitarios.
Fucking big 3D piece of you heard? Gangsta.
Like, no Tuesday, I'm aiming for tacos. Spit through and I'm looking for vato. DPK, all them niggas is shot though. Twitch out when I'm looking for.
Probably got some bad words. We going slow. What's up? Man. Right when I start streaming, bruh.
Flacco, when I run in the X, but I have no paper. I'ma sit on that block like a kid.
DPK, nigga.
Popo.
Yeah! No. Plátano con salami.
Isn't that sus?
Not
Are you guys
sus.
tricking me right now?
No!
The Trinitarios are one of the most notorious gangs in New York City. This Dominican gang formed in Rikers Island Prison in 1993 by Leonidas Junito Sierra and Julio Caballo Marin. This gang quickly earned a reputation for their use of machetes and knives. For example, in 2020, 26 members were charged within Rikers Island Prison for a string of stabbings in the late 2010s. The most public and gruesome act in violence carried out by the gang occurred in 2018 when Lissandro Guzman Feliz was dragged out of a bodega by members of the Trinitarios and stabbed to death in the Belmont neighborhood of the Bronx. This group has also attracted attention by the Justice Department. In 2022, 16 members of Every Dollar Gang, a Trinitario faction, caught a RICO for their involvement with 5 murders, 12 attempted murders, and 7 gunpoint robberies. We go boots on the ground today and speak with a group of Trinitarios in Hunts Point, located in the Bronx, and known as New York's most dangerous neighborhood. Let's begin the episode.
Hey, but yeah, we I'm excited for this one. I was actually gonna record this one and put it on my channel, but because of the timing, how late it is, it's 11 something at night. So I was just like, you know what? Scratch that. I was already gonna record, so I might as well live stream it. So let's get it.
We're in the Bronx, going to Hunts Point, which is one of the most dangerous places. We just got done being in Hartford, Connecticut, exploring why gun violence is escalating and getting out of control, and now we're here in New York, meeting with a squad called the Trinitarios, which I don't know if you ever heard of them, but people have been emailing me about them. Somehow we got connected with some guys, and so we're looking to get into it. How you doing? We're pulling up to the scene, and the boys are already here. You doing, KB?
I'm the one you was texting.
Yes. How you doing, brother?
How you been, gang?
Good to meet you guys. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. What's up? Oh, I talked to you on the phone too. I have to piss my pants. Is there a bathroom around the corner?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Go to the laundry, use the bathroom.
Okay.
Or you wanna go to the dungeon?
The dungeon?
Yeah.
Whoa. This looks like the Jewish synagogue shit.
A secret tunnel built under a famous synagogue in Brooklyn. 60-foot tunnel was found right underneath the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Crown Heights.
If you guys don't hear from me in 10 minutes, come get me, alright?
I got you, you heard? I got you.
I'll stay in there. This is the New York experience right here. I'm pissing in the...
Bro, you're definitely, yo, either a ghost gonna get you, the shadow people gonna get you, but look how dark it is, yo.
Dungeon, I'll see you guys in a second.
Let's see who put the niggas we don't like.
Alright guys, by the way, we have to say before the video gets started, if you want to rock the Big Dogs Gotta Eat sweatshirts, they've been selling like absolutely crazy. Here's why. We got the crazy back. We got hundreds of you around the country repping this. So get yours before your size gets out of stock. They go very quickly, but I appreciate the support. It's amazing that this is my job. So thank you for the support. The biggest gang in the world, a good gang. We try and make positive things happen. Let's talk to these fellas. How much does rent go for down there? I'm ready to move in.
Let's talk to these fellas.
Probably like $50 an hour, son.
The dungeon.
We'll put boxes and like we'll stand on top of
The chick down there.
Nobody can, you know what I'm saying? You stuck down there.
Do you guys have a bunch of like secret hideout type spots? Like this to me is like a cool secret hideout.
Yeah, but this camera, so you can't, it's not really a hideout.
How great is the camera system in New York?
HD, 4K, just like that.
Is that the store owner's camera or is that like the police camera?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. Facial tracking technology?
All that.
I would never live in New York. I want to visit. I want to see what the chopped cheese talking about. I want to eat at the cool little spots and whatnot. I want to do all the touristy stuff. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to visit the hood if it ain't got nothing good food wise. Yeah, I don't. Nah, there's like 8 million people in New York. That's the most amount of people in a dot-sized cities in comparison to any state. Texas doesn't have that many people. California doesn't have that many people. Florida doesn't have that many people in it. But New York, of all places, New York, it is the most overpopulated place in this planet, bro.
Bro, it's New York, bro.
Because in China, they can like track you by how you walk, right? Like they register you in the system. That's New York.
Listen, bro, if you get shot right here, the camera's just gonna follow you to wherever you go. You get in a car and you try to leave, they're still gonna follow you. Because they'll get the license plate, the color of the car. All of these basically connected to
It's like Big Brother, kind of.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Crazy. That's bad, bro, because you know what I'm saying? You could accidentally be doing something by mistake and forget this.
You could accidentally be doing something by mistake. I like the way you said that. Tell the people, where the hell are we right now?
Hunts Point, Gilbert, right there.
No, not F block, not H block. What is G block known for?
Listen, man. Google it. It's a bad place, but we from here, so we try to, you know, make it good.
What's the reputation of NYPD around here?
They are very, very, very corrupt. They'll push on you, they'll stop and frisk you and you can't do that no more.
I heard one of our
like
friends
that.
here maybe got caught for jaywalking the other day.
No, that happened to me twice too.
For real, they actually get you for jaywalking?
Yeah, they do for anything. I was just
because that's a probable cause to stop you.
They can search you, go through your stuff, see if you got warrants, anything,
I love
and then pick you up right now.
The police try to run me over just to search me, bro, for no reason, bro.
They actually ran one of my friends over too before.
One of my friends is locked up right now. Free top. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Right
here,
3 in the morning, you heard?
Free the bros.
So I go to a lot of places around the country, right, fellas? And most places they're like, they're not really worried about the police. They have crazy guns out. But I've noticed New York, you have to like at least respect them, even if you don't like them. They're about it.
You don't gotta respect them. You just can't be dirty. You can't have a gun on you talking crazy to them. Now, if you clean, if you just a citizen walking and they try to harass you, you could violate them.
So what's the green I see around me? I see some.
Is our favorite color here?
That's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt.
Hey, I've seen some wild stuff in my time, bro. Oh no, I don't do this scary stuff. Nah, I don't do no horror movies no more. Well, for one, it's not even scary. It's just.
Why? What do you guys refer to yourself
over.
as?
We 3D.
A lot of scary movies overdo it. I just like. I feel like it's what is it called? They just try to do the most gross stuff, and it's not. It don't be getting me. It's just like, all right, that's nasty, but that's not scary. You know what I mean?
3DP. That's a music group we have.
What is 3DP about?
3 different personalities.
Like your guys are schizophrenic or what?
Different personalities. You got the savages, people get money.
You have a little savage in you.
Sure.
You have a little lover boy in you.
Sure.
And you have a little money man in you.
We all get to wear different hats in this life. You could be the peacemaker, you could be the
Exactly.
warrior. But it seems like the young bucks nowadays are way more concerned about war than peace. Why do you think that is?
Because they feel like they had to show and prove, but I be trying to tell them, like, you don't have to do that, bro.
Because war can be stressful, right?
It's not even that. It's like you casualties that come with wars. That's the problem. I lost too many friends in the street. That cool.
What's the makeup of this neighborhood? I'm seeing a bunch of different shades, so it looks pretty mixed, like a lot of different types of things.
Everybody is out here. We even have white people out here, Spanish people, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Mexican, black, Cuban, all type of races out here.
Oh, I watch you on YouTube.
I appreciate you.
Too.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Of course, let's do it. Study hard, stay in school, okay? We just bumped into a young guy. What's your advice for the youth out there? Do they join a squad like yours, or should they stay away? What do you think?
Nah, if you make music come through, you heard?
I've always been fascinated by gangs. I grew up in an area that had almost zero gang activity, and I'm intrigued as to what makes a young man sign up for a lifestyle that usually ends somewhere between death or prison. But as I thought about it more, I thought about this. If you grow up in a very dangerous gang-infested area and you don't have a gang, chances are you're going to be prey. You're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole in your area. So as a defense mechanism, you create your own gang to survive. And of course, humans are tribal. So if there's a rival gang, you want to be stronger than them. That's just how human nature works. And people will say, well, get rid of the gangs, get rid of the gangs. Well, if you get rid of their gang, all of a sudden they're going to become prey on the totem pole again. If you ask the experts why this is all happening, they usually say it comes down to education, economics, and family structure. The more educated people are, the more economic opportunities people have, and the more they have a cohesive family unit with a dad and a mom in the house, the less often these types of things will happen. I always want to see neighborhoods get better and improve, so these are the types of things I think about. Tell me about this guy that's on the wall right now.
That's the gorgeous gangster himself right there.
The gorgeous gangster?
Yeah,
It's a good
man.
name.
That's his name, DJ. I ain't gonna lie, it's one of my closest friends right there.
What can you tell us about DJ?
Cool ass dude, I ain't gonna lie. He just, you know, people go through things. He would have been right here with us if he was alive, I'll tell you that much.
What happened to him?
It's like hard to talk about it because I don't like what he did to himself, but
Took his life.
Yeah, bro. He was going through a lot, you know? Like, I can't blame him for what he did. Mad at him, but you know, everybody go through different things in life.
I think especially with men, like if you look at statistics, it's men that take their life. I had a friend in college, one of the happiest go lucky guys. If he was with you, he'd be making you laugh. His name was Max, and he was the smoothest with the ladies. He got so many ladies.
That's him right there.
Yeah, and then, you know, you get a call like Max is
Oh my
not
gosh,
here.
I forgot that's the sign for suicide.
And he was the smoothest with the ladies. He got so many ladies.
That's him right there.
Yeah, and
this semicolon right here is a sign for like someone that's going through like depression or has attempted suicide, anything like that. This is the sign for it. What else? There's another sign. I think it's 3 dots, like 3 period signs, is also another sign for like someone that's going through it. Oh dang, I don't even have my comments. I don't have my cell phone. Hold on. I'm over here forgetting. I couldn't even check if I had anybody commenting. Might be if anybody did. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you. All right, we good. Let's see.
and then, you know, you get a call like Max is not here. I have chills thinking about it because it's strange that you can have somebody right here in front of you laughing, having a good time, and you never really realize maybe what's going on, and all of a sudden they're gone.
A lot of niggas, they think like just because you in the streets and you don't got feelings and a lot of mental health is a real issue. But a lot of people, like, they be going through a lot of streets, their family, poverty, drugs, like addictions.
A lot of people have problems that they don't like to speak about too. They just keep it to themselves. That builds up, you know?
Certain niggas know how to hide that too. My son used to smile all the time with a bro.
Yeah, nobody expected
nigga, the same
that.
day he died, he was smiling, laughing with me, joking for me.
And the other thing is, it doesn't matter who you are or what career you have, like, everyone struggles in life. One of my friends is a rapper on tour, called him in the airport LAX. He's feeling sad, he's down, like, but on the surface,
Too. My son used to smile all the time with a bro.
Yeah, nobody expected
nigga, the same
that.
day he died, he was smiling, laughing with me, joking for me.
and the other thing is, it doesn't matter who you are or what career you have. Like, my friend is a rapper on tour, called him in the airport LAX. He's feeling sad, he's down, like, but on the surface,
their emotions, you know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta check up on people and make sure you feel me.
I feel like especially in tough neighborhoods, like guys are supposed to be like cold and like no emotion whatsoever, and it's impossible. Like everyone feels things, you know?
Well, it's like a safety mechanism in a sense. Like a lot of people that deal or that are in harsh environments, if you show emotion, that's a sign of weakness. So that's a big reason why people don't show a lot of emotions is, well, if they're from that type of time or that area, that's why a lot of people be looking aggressive, mean, or stoic. So
indoors is where you might around cry, or you might punch the wall when nobody's around.
After you cry, you actually feel pretty damn good,
Yeah,
you know?
like,
see, I put my phone over here. There we go. Whoops.
Who are the Trinitarios?
Dangerous, notorious fucking gang.
You can search it out. We're the most dangerous gang. Niggas don't even talk about us. Like,
Some refer to the Trinitarios as the most feared gang in New York. Now, every gang you talk to claims they're the most dangerous, and in New York, you have a lot of dangerous gangs to choose from. The Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, and MS-13, just to name a few. So why do some say that the Trinitarios are the most feared? They will tell you it's because of their unity. While certainly they are outnumbered by gangs like the Bloods and the Crips, they'll tell you that a big difference between black gangs and Latino gangs is structure and solidarity. For example,
numbers don't mean you're more dangerous. It just means you have more numbers.
they'll say it's not
And more numbers means it's harder to control. So, especially if there's no structure to it, but they're about to explain that.
unusual to see rival factions beefing amongst themselves, but that usually does not happen amongst Trinitarios, especially while in jail together. The other thing Trinitarios will tout is their vetting process. While some gangs might just let people in their ranks quickly, it's a 3 to 6 month process where an applicant is observed in traits such as loyalty and commitment, and only when they prove themselves are they allowed in. So the question becomes, if you were trying to figure out who is the most dangerous gang in New York, do you pick the one with the most amount of members, or the one that you believe to be the most unified and loyal? You decide.
They claim that we're the most dangerous gang, so we just, whatever, but it's not, everybody's not really on that time, There's a lot of us that's trying to push peace and positive vibes, music and shit. But we're known for a lot of bad shit, but every gang is known for bad shit.
Good and bad,
yeah, right? We just lit, that's it, that's all.
God give his family, the family fight for our freedom, you know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be against the abusing it, I'm trying to tell you? We're a family, we stick together, one for all, one for everything.
Do you feel like in tough neighborhoods it's almost essential to be part of a squad, like to survival, or can you be like a kid that's in science books off by yourself?
Over here that chill with us, that's not.
When you're born in that environment, most kids they join something as a to be cool. They like the feeling of family, of unity that they usually don't get in other from their family or something.
I'm gonna know if you just want to be this because it's cool or because of clout and shit. And I'm gonna tell you, bro, you could hang out with us, bro. You don't gotta be this, because this not for everybody.
At the end of the day, just make sure you know what you signed up for, you heard?
This is real, bro, you feel me? So you can't be out here playing with your life and shit, because people die behind this shit, bro.
Shot at all that, you feel me? It happens.
I know that in New York drill music, especially the younger kids, there's a lot of disrespect that I hear in the songs, like Walking on Dead Ops, things like that. But also there was a story of kids kicking over candles of a guy that got killed.
That happens. I done did that in my youth.
At the end of the day, we human. It's bad enough we smoking on people, you know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm against the whole kicking candles and shit, because at the end of the day, Dead Ops got families and shit, you know what I'm saying? So his mom, that's all she might see every day, looking at her kids' candles and stuff.
Is he calling from the jail phone right now?
Jail phone. So yo, we on a video right now, yo.
That's not a fugitive. I'm just going 3DP. You already know the vibes, man. I'm on an island right now, no body here.
You're in Rikers? Hey, brothers, Tommy G, how you doing?
Good.
Tell me about the conditions in Rikers. Some people have never been in there in their life. What's the food like? What do you get to do?
It's nasty. You got white people telling us making off schedule and shit.
Rikers Island is the most infamous correctional facility in New York. Founded in 1932, this facility has housed rappers like Lil Wayne, Tupac, and A$AP Rocky. The jail has long gained notoriety for its overcrowding and gang activity. In fact, in 1993, two gangs were born in Rikers Island, the United Blood Nation and the Trinitarios. This jail currently stands to be closed by the end of August of 2027 and will be replaced by 4 smaller borough-based jails due to the immense overcrowding and violence. And until this happens, New Yorkers are calling for a federal takeover of the facility to ensure more safety. Trinitarios that are locked up in Rikers Island can make a lot of money. They bribe correctional officers to smuggle in drugs, knives, cell phones, and other contraband. In jail, drugs can be sold for up to 4 times what they are worth on the street. Within Rikers Island, Trinitarios have a reputation for being quick to knife violence if they feel threatened or provoked. The following footage you've seen in this segment were sent by Trinitarios who were locked up. Like, you had to sleep with the lights on all the time? There's always lights on, or does it get dark at all?
5 o'clock in the morning, you'll turn on the lights and keep it on all the way to like 9 o'clock.
If I wanted to smuggle something in, can I bribe his CO?
Hell yeah.
If I'm getting lonely and I want the warm touch of a woman, is it possible to get down with a woman? If I'm ever in Rikers, I can invite Sweet Cheeks to come see me?
Nah, you gotta get the CO clean for me.
You a movie right now, word of bro.
Look, I'm in a box right now.
Like you solitary? Yeah. What'd you do to get sent to the box?
I poked somebody out. I made a knife and I poked the nigga right in his stomach.
I might tell you a jail story.
Yo, listen, man. Shout out 3DP, man. I got cut up in my face a while back. You feel me? Like I had to spin one of the threes. He ain't take a deal. You feel me? On the way to the school, niggas sparked me, but I sparked the niggas back. I ain't take nothing on the hop. You're a gangster, like.
This was on the way to school?
Yeah. I was on the way to program upstate.
In jail.
Okay.
Jail program, but yeah, man, that's really it. You feel me? It's heavy out here in these streets. You feel me? Like
They got you twice, huh?
Like 3 times.
And that fight's quick. That happens real quick, huh?
Everybody in New York might not have a gun, but everybody got this.
But more or less, these shits right here, these shits work. You heard? Like I knock niggas the out for a living. You heard?
What happens if a cop finds you with that?
Might take you to the precinct too, but they might just.
But not nearly as serious as a gun. So it's similar to England where they do all the shanking because the gun laws are strict.
There's a lot of guns out here, bro. Whoever show guns on YouTube videos here, shit like that, stupid.
You're getting indicted, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're stupid.
New York's gang history goes back hundreds of years. Way back in the day, Irish gangs like the Huyus gang and the Dead Rabbits controlled much of the criminal underworld in the 1800s.
Crazy names, Huyus and Dead Rabbits. That's crazy.
Dead Rabbits controlled much of the criminal underworld in the 1800s. In the early 1900s, the precursor to the Italian mob emerged, the Black Hand. These guys would extort money from people by showing up, putting a letter under somebody's door with a demand. Give us money or we will stab you or blow up your building. And sometimes they did. Bombings were very common in this time. Then, from 1920 to 1933, the prohibition of alcohol occurred, which opened up a massive opportunity for the Italian mob to capitalize on, bootlegging. The cash that flowed in from this was one of the many rackets that contributed to the rise of the Italian mobs as the premier gangs of New York. The mob seemed untouchable until the invention of the RICO in the 1970s, which enabled the conviction of the mob's leadership. The 1986 Mafia Commission trial, led by prosecutor Rudy Giuliani, went against the heads of the 5 major Italian families, and this loosened the grip that Italian crime gangs had on the New York underworld. This power vacuum allowed black gangs such as the Bloods and Crips, and Latin gangs such as the Latin Kings and the Trinitarios to take over power. History tells us that change is certain. I wonder what will come next.
Niggas are bad, niggas what we do, nigga. DPK, nigga.
I'm Alicia and I'm in college.
Yeah, I would never go to New York for nothing. I'll go to Times Square and Good Morning America.
What would it take to make peace with some of the ops you were just naming?
There's no peace. If I make peace, I feel like a bitch. How you gonna make peace with niggas who's killing your mans and shit? For me?
When does it end then?
It will never end. If somebody kill your friend, how would you feel?
How you doing, brother? So let me ask you this: what's important to you guys?
Yo, I know your music too.
What's important to you? Like, what's your goal in life? What do you want?
My goal in life, get out of this and make it in. For me, obviously, as you see, music and to change everybody. For me, change everybody in Patria or whatever. That's my goal. Yeah.
Say it again.
Hasta la muerte.
Hasta la muerte.
Yeah. Say popo. Hold on, can I hear popo?
Popo?
Yeah.
Popo?
Yeah.
Right here at the bottom.
Is that another dungeon right there?
Yeah, we don't got access to that one.
I said I'm green because I'm really TNT. If you try to run up, you better watch out. Whole lot of bullets hit the scene. 3 to 3. I'm always wildin'. If Mojo say get him, just know I'm gonna hit your face to him. I ain't freestyling, you know?
That nigga, you know that I've been that. Y'all niggas just rap with the struggle. Y'all ain't never lived that. Remember days as a kid on the block, I was just having fun. Not gonna lie, I missed that. Now we play with them 40 shit, got a kickback. Boy, try to rumble, we pushing his wig back.
I'm talking about.
When normal citizens,
You know the vibes. Yeah, you know the vibe.
when normal citizens are walking around, do you think they feel safer or more scared when you guys are walking around?
They know us. We grew up here our whole life, so most of us here, they know. For me, like I could probably run into any crib in here and hide if I had to.
The average mom walking around, when she sees a group of guys in shiesties, you think she's like, oh,
we say
shit.
how you doing and all that. We very polite. We not
So do you
just.
think that's one thing that makes you guys different? You guys are more respectful than the average?
Yeah, we from here, bro. You know, so we gotta respect where you from. You can't never violate where you from.
So you believe in respecting the elders?
Yeah, you have. That's where I come from. You have to.
What kind of family did you grow up in?
I grew up with my mom, single mother. My father got deported, so he really wasn't.
Where did you
in
get
my
deported
life.
to?
DR, Dominican Republic.
Okay. So how old were you when you got deported?
Yeah, I was like 6, 7, probably around there.
Did you guys think about going back at all?
We used to go like every summer and December for holidays.
How often do you get to talk to your dad now?
He died.
He died?
2 years ago.
How was life in Dominican Republic?
Hard over there, bro. Third world country. That's rough. I would like to go for like vacations, but I don't think nobody want to live there if they don't really got money.
So you a bowler?
I would never want to go to the hood for a vacation, bro. That's honestly kind of how it was growing up. Was anytime vacation time came around, it was me going to visit auntie, relative, whatever, and everybody in the hood.
No, I wrestled.
Oh, I see the vid. He's on the beach and
I don't know, the gangster dudes I meet don't work out. And I'm like, how?
Nah, you
that
got to
means-
work
yeah.
out. That helps your body, your soul,
And
your
it keeps your mind together. So if you go to Rikers, you already know the workout you'll be doing?
Mandatory. Every day you gotta just do calisthenics.
What are some Rikers workouts we can do?
Push-ups, garbage bags, fill them up with water. Those be the weights.
Inmates can be very creative with how they get things done.
I've never personally been to jail, but I know people that have been to jail. They be coming out like this.
you gotta work out because there's people physically in there. They're gonna like impose their will on you. So you're not gonna let somebody just walk all over you or do anything. So if you're skinny, you gonna have to get your weight up so somebody else stop bothering you or whatever. You gotta do.
Imagine you go in there, you see a guy like this, and you just came in the spot. I just came in the spot looking like this. You feel me? I'm not gonna win a fight every single time against him, so I gotta do.
Or imagine he come in the spot like that. I come in skinny. You probably gonna try me before you try him.
You say you go to Rikers for something. Will they put you by other Trinitarios or they separate people?
In my time, they wouldn't do that. We used to have fun, but now they putting you straight with your cons. So whatever you are,
That minimizes the trouble.
They started
right?
to segregate.
yeah, but that's not cool, bro. It's not fun. When I was in jail, bro, 2012, 11, 13, 14, like those times, you can't say nothing. So now they put you in a blood crib. You can't live with blood because we have beef with them. So if you go to the blood crib and they ask you, yo, what are you? And you say, I'm not nothing. You can do that 24 hours. You got to do something in that house. You can't just be in there low riding like, oh, I'm not in no gang. No. So I done did that. I've been to a few cribs. I got a beard. They think I'm Muslim. I played a little black role because I look black. Once one of them is not looking or I got them, then they send me to the bros and shit. But you just go in jail like, hey, I'm this, kind of. You feel me? That's not fun.
What are some stereotypes about jail that are true or false? Like let's say this, like if I'm the new guy, I come up, I have a tray and I have a brownie on the tray, some big dude's gonna be like, that's my brownie.
Even gonna get the, like, no, listen. You're not even gonna get the brownie. The inmates do the pantry, so the inmates are the ones that give everyone the food. You get what
So
I'm saying?
if I go in there, I have no affiliation, I'm neutral. Do I have to join somebody or what?
No, just beat somebody up real quick.
You're not
in front of everybody.
but they will try you.
Will I go to solitary if I knock somebody out?
Nah.
You got a ticket for that.
What percentage of dudes get down in jail with other dudes? Like, is that a real thing?
Nah, that don't happen.
That's like back in the 80s.
Yeah, that don't happen. That drop the soap. That's not real. Once in a blue moon, though. That'll be like a trans. And
a guy that now calls himself Jessica.
Yeah, finally cut a live. I know I haven't really been on live for a minute, but yeah, I'm back and I'm better. Let's go.
Yes, and they'll still put those type of people with us because they were men at one time. So that's just a question that I have to myself. They be putting so much laws, but in jail, you still put them with men.
Oh, we have the boys behind us.
Nah, this is every day.
Our boy could be walking full black cars will hop on you and just search you,
beat you up for no reason.
That's like the elite forces of the police.
Yeah, because they want the gun.
I see those, I try to maneuver because it will open your coat, check you all over.
Without any probable cause.
Yeah, that's illegal right there.
Does New York have a SWAT team?
Yeah, they have a SWAT.
Remember George Floyd incident? What happened a few years ago? New York had for that. They had to bring the SWAT out here, the U.S. martial law and all that, because everybody was looting, everybody was wilding.
What did you guys feel when you saw the George Floyd incident?
I ain't gonna lie, it's just I feel like it happens everywhere, you know? It's just another televised person getting killed for no reason.
I ain't never really been in jail, but when I was in the bookings, when I was in the cell, like, we was asking the cops, we like, do you really enjoy doing this job? And most of them were like, nah, I just need to get paid. Like, I'll be feeling bad for you.
There's a lot of people like that too that don't care.
But that George Floyd situation, I want to touch up on that. And that kind of relates to like all little group, you know what I'm saying? That George Floyd situation, right? At that time period, people were going at cops, right? Me personally, I don't like cops, right? But you would say not every cop is bad, right?
Correct.
But I mean, that ties into like some happen in our culture and our little that happens. Just because a group did something bad to, you feel me, a little kid or some that doesn't mean that all of us is bad and all of us feel that was the right thing to do or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
That it's hard to say, especially if you're a part of a gang, to say that and try to correlate it the same, because, and I understand, like, if you want to look at both sides, it's like cops technically being a gang and then gangs obviously being a gang, but from the root of what gangs started out as, like, the root was to protect your community and protect your people. That's not necessarily what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Drugs are being sold. Y'all guys shooting each other up. Beef isn't getting squashed. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference in comparison to, like, the innate root of protect and serve. And I know everybody doesn't do that job, but you can't. That's like water and oil. Like, it's both liquid, but it's not the same.
You're referring to a news story, aren't you?
Yeah, like we got blamed for something, and you know what I'm saying, like it's a touchy subject, so I kind of don't really want to talk on it too much. But you know, like me, KB, Millie, we make music, right? A lot of people always harass us. Oh, y'all civilian killers, da da da. That wasn't us, you know what I'm saying? We don't
even know what's
that.
going on with
you know what I'm saying?
like,
there's Bloods that kill innocent people. There's Crips that kill innocent people, but people don't talk about that. But then people want to talk about that little one incident.
When you Google the Trinitarios, one of the first things that comes up is the 2018 murder of Junior Guzman Feliz. He was in the Belmont neighborhood walking home one day when 4 cars filled with Trinitarios pulled up on him, chased him into a bodega, dragged him out, and stabbed him to death with knives and machetes. He was only 15 years old. According to the news, his death was the result of him being mistaken for a rival gang member. But what some on the street say is he got caught between a Trinitario civil war gone wrong. 14 of the Trinitario members that were involved in this gruesome crime were sentenced, and some of them are serving
like
25 years.
Yeah, they
it's
all
stories
adults.
like this that make the endless cycle of violence in the hood seem like something that will never
That's
go
crazy.
away.
He's kid was only 15. I mean, he looked older in the face, but
he was only 15 years old. According to the news, his death was the result of him being mistaken for a rival gang member. But what some on the street say is he got caught between a Trinitario civil war gone wrong. 14 of the Trinitario members that were involved in this gruesome crime were sentenced, and
look at that. 23. What was the other one?
Civil war gone wrong. 14 of the Trinitario members that were involved in this gruesome crime were sentenced, and some of them are serving 25 to life.
18,
it's stories like
24,
this that make the endless cycle of violence in the hood seem like something that will never go away.
Bro was 15 years old. You don't get your grown man strength until you about 23, 24 years old. That dude had zero chance. I seen the video.
We winning this. We gonna take this W. Comment, Team Tommy G. We winning. It's your team right now.
That's 3. That's 3. We're 3. Alright, run it.
Ready?
Alright, let's go.
It's over. That's game. That's game. Took it out.
We gon' blister the back. Pull up with threes and we moving two tack. If I catch West B, I'm letting it cut. Cause the best of them aiming for caps. Like,
You just kind of
I'm not
scuffle?
talking about when somebody's mother.
Are you okay?
Nah, bro, she was violent. She was snitching. They looked and told my friend she was snitching. She was like, oh, it was dumb, and it was dumb. Had to. Yes, the mother.
Why'd you fight someone's mother?
She was talking shit, can't talk,
This is
and then accept nothing to happen.
How old are you?
Like us.
14.
14? What's some slang in the area you can teach me? I'm from Milwaukee.
Ask the football that's behind you.
yeah, Bombonde!
I don't know what she just said, bro.
Big
I don't know what she just said.
His mother.
She was talking shit, can't talk,
This is
and then accept nothing to happen.
bro.
How old are you?
like us.
14.
14? What's some slang in the area you can teach me? I'm from Milwaukee.
Ask the football that's
Ask the potatoes behind you.
behind you.
Yeah, Bombonde!
Big bad boy, you heard?
Someone just said to the camera, eat my d. Do you have to add no homo?
Nah, that's for the aunts. For the aunts.
That's like the most disrespectful
Like, what
word
if
in New York. Suck my eat my same I had to cut somebody in jail for
Crazy.
some about that. You know what I'm saying?
So this is one of the only places I've been shooting a video where consistently throughout the police have been following us around.
They have the detective cops, 3 of them following us 24/7.
They're about to take you into the dungeon. That's very safe.
Because I know New York was home to Jeffrey Epstein, so I just want to make sure I'm going into a dungeon.
If you're going into a dungeon, I don't know what's in there, but nothing's gonna happen to you, obviously.
Yeah, I'll protect my butt if I have to. So who's this guy we're meeting?
This guy, he's a fiend.
But he's speaks straight Spanish.
Okay.
We're gonna translate it for you.
Come on, you ready to come to the second dungeon?
Muchas gracias.
I guess we're going to another dungeon. Mucho gusto.
This is his room where
What's happening? What's happening?
he gets high. He gets high. Does what he does.
Bitches, you feel me?
It's not a bad spot.
This is my best friend,
Me llamo Tomás.
Javier.
Dígame sobre tu vida y Hunts Point.
I came to Hunts Point at the age of 15.
Como el barrio cambia.
I need to get my Spanish up. I need to get my Spanish up. I need to. There's like three languages I want to actually. So it's Spanish, Japanese. Actually, no, 4. Spanish, Japanese, Russian, and Arabic. That's the 4 I actually want to know.
Por los años.
I want to know more. I want to know like 6 to 8. But those, if I were to pick 4, that's the 4 that I pick.
When I came to Puerto Rico, I see Hunts Point like well, now it's different. They got the tree, they have building, Hunts Point change. I do a lot of bad things in Puerto Rico. When I came in here, same thing. I went to jail, I went to federal too. I do time.
You went to federal? What'd you go to federal prison for?
Yeah. I started getting high when I was 11 years old.
Whoa.
11 years old.
Smoke weed.
11? Dog, that is... That's not like, oh, I took a sip of alcohol or I smoked a little bit. Heroin, bro. That is one of the most gnarliest drugs you could take ever.
Taking on pill, on volume. Yeah.
What was life like in Puerto Rico when you were a kid?
It was good because in Puerto Rico, I don't have no spot or dog. Because I know that once you have a spot, somebody is jealous that you're making money. They do whatever they have to do to take you away.
Look, this is his bathroom right here. This is where he shower.
Yo, bro, look at this door. What it say?
Look what it say right here too. Here I sat, broken hearted, tired to shit, but only farted.
You're a poet.
Where he showers.
When you guys said dungeon, I thought it was gonna be like crazy. This is solid.
This house looked crazy before, but he cleaned it up and made it look better. This look like a dungeon. Look, this is people's too. Yo, mira, una entrevista, mira.
Muchas gracias.
Dale, Javier.
Tienes palabras final para la cámara. Un mensaje.
I would and go to church.
I like that.
What did he say? I didn't even catch that. He said something to go to church.
Did you say he's a human hero?
I would and go to church.
What?
Dale, Javier.
Tienes palabras final para la cámara. Un mensaje.
I would and go to church.
I like that.
This reminds me of an important time of history when flash photography came to be. Let me tell you a story right now. Let's take you back in time. The year is 1889, and social worker Jacob Reese is walking through a grimy slum in Lower Manhattan. He walks through a tiny apartment room that is crowded by dozens of working class immigrants, many of them Italian.
You know what I'm thinking about doing? So I want to take a page out of some other YouTubers' book, because what they have is I want to like incorporate like movie nights to where like we pick like an anime movie and we watch it, or do like an anime series. But obviously it wouldn't be on my YouTube. It'd have to be on my Patreon, because there's no way YouTube would allow me to do that. But and then picking like either like albums or discographies, or doing like an A and B side for songs, or picking one artist and then listening to like all their top music and then going down the list like that. I have like a whole bunch of ideas of something I should do that would be like pretty cool, just enveloping this whole thing, because YouTube just they're trashing my videos right now.
Irish. He snaps a photo that will go on to become one of the most iconic photos in American history. A photo that shows to the world how New York's poor citizens lived. These photos were published in a book called How the Other Half Lives, and before this book, many people had no idea how wretched the conditions were for New York's poor. Rats, disease, and overcrowding are some of the ways to describe it. What people saw blew their minds and drew national attention. In 1900, nearly 2/3 of New York's 3.5 million residents lived in these crowded buildings known as tenements. Think of them as the projects of this era. After World War II,
New York,
American
I heard that old New York is technically underground. Old New York is like literally right underneath New York. So these huge buildings and stuff. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not from the 18. It had to be like further back, but like some of these establishments looked like they were already built over.
Citizens lived. These photos were published in a book called How the Other Half Lives, and before this book, many people had no idea how wretched the conditions.
It already looked like the slums back then. Like it's almost as if it didn't progress at all.
Issues were for New York's poor. Rats, disease, and overcrowding are some of the ways to describe it. What people saw blew their minds and drew national attention. In 1900, nearly 2/3.
Look at these buildings. They're definitely, I mean, some of them are similar, but they don't look like that no more. Like there's no reconstructed infrastructure. Dang, try to say that 3 times.
New York's 3.5 million residents lived in these crowded buildings known as tenements. Think of them as the projects of this era. After World War II, many of these slum buildings were demolished in efforts led by a man known as the power broker, Robert Moses. 45,000 families were displaced as a result of this effort. Still today, housing is a struggle for New Yorkers, and in the neighborhood that we're in, Hunts Point, nearly 60% of people are rent burdened, meaning that they spend over 30% of their paycheck on rent. Add this to the growing list of issues that New York is facing right now. ¿Tienes niños que fue en la calle?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's New York, Washington, and California are like the top places as far as like the highest expense to live. And I live in Washington. I've lived in Seattle for some time too. Ridiculous.
¿Y fue en el cárcel o tiene problemas en la calle?
Two of them, one of them got killed, and he always was in jail since he was a minor. And the other one, he enjoyed people like that too.
He got killed in jail?
No, Maryland.
Okay, what happened?
Somebody shoot him. It was a setup.
In that situation, if you knew who did it, would you say that to the police?
No.
You just let the street take care of it?
I think so.
When your sons were out and running the streets, did it ever make you nervous, or did you ever tell him don't do it, or what would be the conversation?
I was nervous and everything, but he wants to lead a life, so I told him to take care of himself.
If you could go back in time, is there anything differently you would have done?
Everything.
What would you change?
Those people don't come here at 14. Don't have so many in a boat.
You came in a boat? Where'd you come from?
From Cuba.
So you came to Florida first?
With 14.
What was the boat ride like? Was that scary?
Especially when they get to Mexico. She was like, to call international water, sharks. That's very scary.
How big was the boat?
It was like a yacht.
What made you leave Cuba?
They made me leave. They told me that I had to leave.
Your family told you you needed to leave? For a better life or because they didn't want you there?
They don't want me there.
So a lot of people in America are starting to think about considering socialism and communism.
That's a different type of pain for your parents to tell you that we don't want you. Go away. Like what? At 14? Bro.
You came from Cuba. What do you think about socialism and communism?
You know, comunismo is hard. Socialism is better. Because in Cuba, that's why they don't got no because they're like, you know, they're not socialists.
So when you got here when you were 14, what did you do to survive?
I went to school. I went to a convent. I went to a group home.
So you lived in a boarding school almost?
Yeah, they put me like in a group home, all like minors, with the nuns.
There's a lot of young men that are chasing the street life. You've seen firsthand how painful it can be. Is there any advice you would give to some of these young men?
They're old enough to do the right from wrong. And now that they like that they had to live, they gotta survive.
Do you have any other thoughts you want to say?
No.
Thank you for your time.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think about how just the opposite sex does to survive when it comes to like impoverished areas. So I mean, both are technically sacrificing their body, whether it's for sex, drugs, whatever the case, or drugs and like the gang life, as far as like anything that's like really bad, that doesn't really serve a purpose to help. Just kind of something to think about that just kind of popped in my head. I was just like, what the heck? Because you won't see like a female spin the block on talking about she gonna blow somebody away with not like that's not a thing. That's extremely rare.
So tell me about this. There's a few current issues in New York that I want to ask you guys about. One, the migrant crisis. There's a lot of migrants living here now, coming in. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, I feel like everybody was migrants at one point, but they dragged.
Yeah, the group homes. I used to visit the group homes a while back because I had some friends that were in the group homes. There's a lot of good people that run those, and I've seen people come from those that didn't have such a good upbringing through the system. But shout out to the ones that definitely put their all into it, because that's work. Taking care of somebody's child is oh my gosh, it's a blessing. But it's hard because you're taking on, even for teachers, like speaking about that, is like you're taking on different personalities, different character traits, different traumas, different beliefs, different attitude. Like that is a lot. And to know that it's not like your blood or from you, you have to be so patient, like on a God tier level of patience to be able to take care of like other kids. Yeah.
Dragging it, bro, because the people that's coming over here is doing crimes and shit, and I feel like it's because the government's not really giving them help. Everybody thinks you're gonna come to America and you're just gonna get money.
It's just gonna be easy.
No, bro.
It's not easy to survive in America.
I don't understand.
It's a good place to live compared to other countries, but it's still difficult to live well. Tell me about cost of living. Do you feel like people feel squeezed around here? Rent's going up, energy's going up,
everything's expensive,
going up,
food,
everything's
expensive.
So are a lot of people squeezed around here?
Yeah, bro. The people living off their paychecks, all type of going on.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of people in rap on the 9 to 5.
Not at all. Look, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. At the end of the day, those people who too prideful to work a 9 to 5 be broke as You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is about money, bro. And the people nobody's hating on niggas who's making money, bro.
Don't matter if you want to block trapping, if you working a 9 to 5, you working at McDonald's.
You could do both.
Like, you need resources to invest in a mic or equipment or recording software.
Yeah, music videos.
I did a 9 to 5 for like 5.5 years before I jumped to YouTube.
And then look where you are right now.
Yeah.
Which one was your first 9 to 5 job?
My first 9 to 5? Well, when I was a kid, my first job, in 8th grade, I went door to door doing lawn mowing. So I was like knocking on people's doors and trying to mow their lawn.
Another shit, not just work. School, a lot of y'all, like, feel me, I feel like everybody needs to stay in school. Like, me personally, I graduated high school. My son right here, he's still in college. I'm about to go back to college.
Gangsta, look, I do what I do, gangsta, and go to school. And niggas don't know that, you feel me? Because me personally, I don't have to prove nothing to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Me about to graduate, gangsta, that's the most gangsta thing in my lifetime. I'm like, if you know what I've done.
Hey, that's facts. I think the most gangster thing you can do is be a mom and dad and hold down the household. That's gangster. That's
the most gangster thing I'm about to do. I'm about to graduate college, you feel me? And then my mom's gonna be super proud of me.
Roughly, if you had to guess, allegedly, how many Trinitarios are in this area, you think?
About 100, 150.
That's a rolling deep squad.
In New York City, probably over 1,000.
Wow, more than
I'm ready to spin, ready to load every time that I sin. Niggas just talk about crazy and capping shit like you can get shot in your chin, like damn.
How you doing, man? I'm Tommy, nice to meet you.
Good.
What's it like running a business in Hunts Point? It's known as one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in New York.
It's fine, it's not.
What's the best thing on the menu here?
Chopped cheeses, cheeseburgers.
Should we get a chopped cheese?
Chopped cheese, bro.
2 chopped cheeses, please.
That's probably the only thing I really want to go to New York for is for a chopped cheese, yo. Do you feel relaxed watching true crime documentaries as well? Yeah, I actually just recorded earlier in the day some true crime story. Actually, it's like a 2-in-1 type of situation with Rotten Mango. So I'm gonna be releasing that tomorrow. If I was thinking about releasing it today, but I might release it tomorrow. But yeah, I love that he's proud of going to school and graduating soon. Big facts, blessings on that. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what, school is, man, I tried school, I couldn't do it. So I wound up this is something that I'll probably like not say very much. I've worked over 30 jobs in my life and I'm only 31 years old, yo. I grew up hustling. Tough. I'm not talking about just like one job. I'm talking about I worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs, back to 2 jobs, back to 3 jobs, worked 2 jobs, 1 job, 2 jobs, bro.
Oh, why you go rapping it like that?
There you go. I thought you was gonna eat it from the
They
top.
got on him just because of how he's about to eat it. If you don't know the running joke about eating a glizzy, eating a hot dog, eating a popsicle, they say you gotta break it in half and you eat it.
Oh, why you go rapping it like that?
There you go. I thought you was gonna eat it from the top. Pause.
In New York, you can't even eat any food without being like,
hey. That shit was good.
How it tastes?
Out of 1 through 10,
how you rate it? Out of 1 through 10.
I say 8.
Honest.
Valid.
How you feel about that right there?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, all
You
right.
said 8. You give it an 8.
That's good
That's
meat.
great.
8 out of 10.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm down to watch some true crime or watch some court cases and stuff. That's what I'm feeling right now. You're 31. You look like 25 or something. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm 31. I have a lot of life experiences. A lot. Harsh realities and all the good stuff. Let me see. Let's do crazy court Crazy court moments. That dude tripping, boy. He said, ah. Watch crime series. I'll probably go to that one. Let's see.
Hi, Forbes Riley here. Like many of you, I take my well-being as an absolute top priority. You know, I learned that top...
Joe, how often do you think about killing the Andersons?
It's in my mind all the time.
You did to my daughter, Teresa Ann Marie Lynch, was evil, hateful, and despicable. You are now dead and rotting and repulsive to me.
That boy went through it.
This is Joseph McEnroe, a triple homicide convict from Washington State. On Christmas Eve in 2007, Joseph and his then-girlfriend Michelle Anderson decided to murder 6 members of her family, including 2 children. This sent a paralyzing horror through the community of Carnation, Washington, and it's not hard to see why.
I've never heard of Carnation, Washington in my life. Let me look it up. I want to see where it's at. There's a lot of weirdos from Washington that I think we have like a good handful of like true crime type people. What did they say it was called? Man, I forgot that fast.
Girlfriend Michelle Anderson decided to murder 6 members of her family, including 2 children. This sent a paralyzing horror.
Carnation, Washington. Let's see how far away I am from there. An hour and 5 minutes away from Carnation, Washington. That is east of me.
Through the community of Carnation, Washington, and it's not hard to see why. The 911 call reporting the incident painted one of the most gruesome images of any murder incident in the country.
911? There's been a murder. There's 3 people dead that I can see right now.
Inside?
I just came up. She works with me.
Inside the house?
Yes.
What do you see?
There's a baby and a man and a woman, and she's my best friend.
Now, in court, a tense atmosphere enveloped the room. Every eye was on McEnroe as he faced a grueling cross-examination as he remained cold.
So Ron Mango, I think it's the channel's name. Yeah, I don't remember her name though. Right now, well, off the top of my head, Ron Mango is good true crime. Yeah, I love Ron Mango. I'm thinking of, well, I just did her most recent one, so I might release that later today or tomorrow because I plan on recording another couple videos of that. I think hers I think are the best like podcast true crime situations. It's broken down like so good.
And unbothered through most of the trial.
So I moved quickly forward into the down the hall and into the no, I'm ready down the hall into the kitchen, and she comes around from the other end of the kitchen.
Why is it so low for this guy?
From right to left. Again,
I just.
You've got a point here. No bullets have been fired, right? Do you recall what was going through your head as you pulled the trigger and shot the gun at Wayne?
Nothing. Just nothing.
But the facade crumbled during his sentencing trial. His recount of the gruesome murders triggered an unexpected meltdown, shedding a haunting light on the dark abyss within.
We're going to talk about what happened on December 24th, okay?
I think their mics are just super low in the court.
In that last month, 4 weeks, you're up there at the trailer. What were you doing during those 4 weeks?
Is it to bait a trap? No, it's because we can't just leave these dead people here, okay? So I moved. So I went and moved Judy first. I put a bag over her head because I couldn't look at her because of see the emptiness where she should be.
Let me show you how we do stuff.
Surprisingly enough, I've never seen like somebody break down like that while they told their part of the story and them being like the murderer. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I want to do more Rotten Mangoes though. I think I need to find her name out because that's gonna bug me.
McEnroe's cowardly act, the presiding judge will now deliver the sentence.
In a matter of moments, you became their judge, jury, and executioner. They were defenseless before you as you wielded your firearm. There was no opportunity for them to save themselves, to obtain a reprieve, or to save each other. They were cowardly ambushed on Christmas Eve, a time when they expected nothing but joy and goodwill.
On Christmas Eve, y'all.
Been spared, Mr. McEnroe. This now sentences you to the harshest sentence otherwise available under the law. Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 1 for the murder of Wayne Anderson. Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 2 for the murder of Judy Anderson. Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 3 for the murder of Scott Anderson. Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 4 for the murder of Erica Anderson. Life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 5 for the murder of Olivia Anderson. And life imprisonment without the possibility of release or parole on count 6 for the murder of Nathan Anderson.
Despite the life sentence, McEnroe, showing no signs of remorse, is appealing the sentence and verdict. Joseph McEnroe's courtroom meltdown showcased the emotional tumult of a merciless killer, but how does it compare to other shocking courtroom scenes, like in the case of Daryl Brooks, a sex offender turned 6-time murderer?
How can you even call?
So I didn't get to see the full thing of this. I had started on this one. I guess I got the gist of it, but I didn't get the full thing, and I didn't get the conclusion as far as what happened. It was more so this guy. Well, like I said, he was like he's a sex offender, but he doesn't have an attorney, or a lawyer. No, like nobody. And he was upholding his own case, and he had to do all the paperwork, so he was fumbling a lot. It was really weird.
Yourself a
Mr.
judge.
Brooks, I need to make a record of
I need to make a record too.
You don't
when
need
am
to...
I gonna get the chance to do that?
All right.
And this is literally all he was doing was arguing. He wasn't putting up. It was dumb because the tactic that he was using was to like draw out the court cases so he wouldn't get sent to jail. So it'd just take longer for him to get there. So they had to keep redoing everything. Court is a long, tedious process, but the judge was handling it very well because she was ready to get it over with.
I need to make a record. He's being removed to the other courtroom. He is yelling at me.
On November 21st, 2021, Daryl Brooks drove an SUV through the annual Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin, killing 6 people and injuring 62 others.
Oh, crazy. What's with holiday people like destroying other stuff? Stephanie So, exactly. Yep, that's her name, Stephanie So. I'm actually gonna write that down. Yeah, she's cool people. She's cool people. It's crazy.
On fleeing the ghastly crime scene, Brooks knocked on the front door of a home, claiming that he was homeless and needed to use a phone to call an Uber. When the residents answered,
my inspiration is just flowing and coming.
Homeowner who gave Daryl a burger and warm jacket soon realized that something was wrong. They asked him to exit their property. Police had arrived and taken him into custody.
What's up? Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them. Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do it now! Hey, taking one of the hospitals for a plan here. What did I do? Lay on your stomach.
This dude said, "What did I do?"
As the court opened its doors for Brooks's trial, the world witnessed a chilling calmness, not inspired by an ironclad defense, because his defense was anything but clear. The defense witnesses he brought forth only added to the tension that thickened with each passing moment.
What were you doing the evening of November 21st, 2021, before linking up with the alleged defendant?
Hanging with my roommate at the time at Frame Park.
And what were you and your roommate doing?
We covered this ground during her testimony previously.
Objection and grounds for, I object to that and grounds for the objection on behalf of the state.
But as the trial progressed, the calm
Dude,
surface
the levels on
withered.
here
Brooks's
are
agitation
ridiculous,
surfaced
bro.
as he scrambled for documents during a heated moment in court. His self-representation not helping his case in the least.
Your Honor, we're not going to move past this. Seeing as how you took an oath to protect the Constitution. I have your oath. I have a copy of your oath right here. The oath that you took, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, I'd like to continue with testimony.
Sir.
We have witnesses waiting for you. Please call your next witness.
The oath that you swore to protect
You see how he's just stalling on some bullcrap, yo? Crazy.
the Constitution, which you are now not doing.
Mr. Brooks,
So you're going
call your
against
next
your
witness,
sworn
please.
oath. You're going against your sworn oath.
I will make the record when we get back. I will step off, but Mr. Brooks, you're being
It ain't
taken
no,
to the
it
next
ain't no Mr.
courtroom.
Brooks. Don't try to address me
Thank
like
you.
that, like we cool. You don't have no integrity. How can you even call yourself a judge? Making tacit agreements, being biased, judicial misconduct.
Victims of Brooks's horrible crimes came in their numbers to share their heartbreaking stories and utter revulsion at his continued existence.
On November 21st, you killed my mother. And in this courtroom, I watched you run her down and her broken body slide across the concrete. This woman loved and she was loved. You ran her down like she was nothing. And since that day, you have shown no remorse. You'd offered no explanation for your atrocities. It offends me that you're sitting here breathing while she is not. You are a monster. You deserve contempt and death.
My name is Chris Owen, and I'm the plaintiff. I'm here on behalf of another plaintiff, my mother, Leanna Joy Owen. The reason none of the witnesses saw her in this courtroom is because she was executed by a killing offender. Now my dad has nightmares of her body flying through the air and shattering against concrete. Yeah, shake your head. Shake your head.
Wow.
Because that is what you took from me. And there's nothing this court can do that would provide justice in my eyes. So all I ask is that you rot, and you rot slow.
The heat was on, and the calm charade soon came unraveling as the jury's verdict resounded through the courtroom, guilty on all 76 counts. The once stoic mask shattered as Brooks's head sank into his hands.
All right, I will read each one into the record.
76 counts is crazy. I don't think everybody understands, unless if you know legal terms and all that. I don't think everybody understands what 76. You are not getting out. You're not.
The jury find the defendant, Daryl E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 1 of the information. We, the jury, find the defendant, Daryl E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide as charged in count 6 of the information, dated today's date, signed by the foreperson. Did the defendant commit first-degree intentional homicide while using a dangerous weapon? Answer, yes.
Now, as Brooks faces the consequences of his actions, how does his epic court meltdown compare to that of Tobias Roman, whose fury escalated from alleged stalking to death threats against a judge.
You get one more chance, and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. That'll be your choice. Don't talk. Go live here. All right. You need to leave.
In Bakersfield, California, Roman faced multiple felonies for reportedly stalking a woman at Valley Plaza Mall. What seemed like a...
Stalking is probably one of the most weirdest things ever.
Straightforward trial quickly turned explosive.
At this time, I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Roman. The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery, second degree. Hey, Mr. Roman, you need to be quiet.
As the judge presided over his case, Roman's wrath bubbled over. The courtroom fell into stunned silence as he hurled threats at the judge, vowing murder in a chilling tone that echoed through the halls of justice.
You have one more chance, and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. That'll be your choice. Don't talk. Go live here. All right. You need to leave.
The audacity of Roman's threat sent shockwaves through the courtroom, a blatant display of uncontrollable rage against the very institution meant to deliver justice.
I'd like to note for the record, Mr. Roman's statement on the record that he will murder me if he sees me, and I'm going to request law enforcement take the appropriate action.
His threat earned him a new set of felony charges, earning him an extra 8 months to cool down in prison. Tobias Roman's courtroom meltdown was a shocking affront to the judicial system. But how does it compare against the rage that boiled over in the case of Bryce Rhodes, a triple murder suspect in Louisville, Kentucky?
Your job is to do your job, not to worry about me. That's what I'm saying. Well, I worry about me. You worry about your self.
On May 4th, 2016, Rhodes shot and killed 40-year-old Christopher Jones on the 800 block of South 41st Street. 2 weeks later, Rhodes and 2 teenage accomplices, Anjuan Carter and Ja'Cory Taylor, beat, tortured, and stabbed 2 brothers to death. The bodies of 14-year-old Larry Ordway and 16-year-old Maurice Gordon were found in an abandoned lot on River Park Drive by a woman who called 911. Rhodes and his accomplices were arrested on May 24th after 15-year-old Carter confessed to the police. He said that he and 18-year-old Ja'Cory Taylor were in Bryce's apartment when the murder took place.
He made Maurice on his knees and begged for forgiveness.
Carter told the police that he saw Bryce Rhodes tie up the 2 brothers.
He tied him up. He tied him up or something. He tied his brother up. He made his brother sit in the bathroom. And he put a toboggan over his head. And he put a rag in his mouth. And then he stabbed him.
Carter described a similar scene for Maurice's brother.
We moved Maurice to the side, and we brought his brother, and we put the toboggan over his head. He put the toboggan over his head and put the sock in his mouth. And started stabbing him too.
Carter said that the brothers had witnessed Rhodes, also known as Rambo, kill a man earlier that month, a possible reason as to why they were killed.
And they seen somebody just falling on the street, and they said Rambo's at the street, and shot him. And Maurice, he was a getaway driver, so he was driving.
Since his arrest, Rhodes has been notorious for his disruptive and defiant behavior in court. He threatened a district court judge during a profanity-filled rant that was caught on video.
Mr. Rhodes, you can just bring him up right here.
Why y'all have me come out like this for?
I think you know why.
Mm.
You know exactly why. Now, listen, stop talking. You have been...
God.
Are you done?
No, I'm done.
You've been charged in the 4th degree. I'm going to keep talking because I don't want to have to see you back here for this.
Rhodes continued with his rant and threatened to find out where the judge lived.
You think where you live at? What you think at? None of that. I ain't do.
Do they forget that they have like 0 power while they're in there? Like, you're supposed to be on your best behavior. I guess because they know they're screwed, they're just like, well, whatever. Well, I don't understand why there's these things at random. What things? Oh, why they do these things at random? Yeah, I will always say like the root problem of people like wilding out or doing anything always is gonna stem from the environment and the family. The family is the full infrastructure of how you develop as a human being, and the most developmental portion of your life is as a child. That is where you like. I guarantee you, there's probably like traumas or character traits that you still hold to this day from a child because it was so deeply ingrained in you, or it was just so dramatic or traumatic that it still, either affects you or you still abide by that. Like for me, I can't not say yes ma'am, no ma'am, because my parents ingrained it in me. So
Okay.
In another hearing, Rhodes smiled and made gestures at the mother of the victims, Marie Wren.
But then another part of it is, if we have a concern, what's the alternative? Because then if we might get into a situation on the law where I'm supposed to weigh
terrible, bro.
Pros and the cons. Ma'am.
Stop it. Look at me.
Ma'am.
Wren lunged at Rhodes during the hearing and had to be dragged away from court by security.
It was a violent, split-second decision.
I flipped out. I couldn't take it no more.
Marie Wren lunged toward the man accused of stabbing her sons to death and burning their bodies.
The victim's grandmother, Jackie Party, was outraged by Bryce's behavior in court.
My first thought was to really just to go after him from the way he's been doing things.
This case was set to go to trial in January 2022, but Bryce's defense attorney asked for a competency evaluation.
That thing is going on forever because the crime happened in 2016. Now, I've heard stories going pretty long time, but that's a long time, bro. I couldn't, man, talk about the same thing for that many years, bro. No.
For more than a year, a judge ruled that Rhodes was competent and set a trial date for December 2023.
That just
I
happened.
don't believe that any of the evidence through testimony today is conclusive that Mr. Rhodes isn't just making the decision to not participate with his attorneys. I don't think that necessarily makes him incompetent.
Rhodes clearly had no remorse for murdering Christopher Jones, Larry Ordway, and Maurice Gordon. But how does it compare to the meltdown of Damon Kemp, whose rage drove him from a rent dispute to a double murder conviction? Shocking Daytona Beach, Florida.
A rent dispute, brother? How does that happen? That's like, yeah, I went to go get some groceries and then I decided to become a pilot.
Damon Kemp,
Bro,
whose
what?
rage drove him from a rent dispute to a double murder conviction. Shocking Daytona Beach, Florida. 19-year-old Kemp from Stone Mountain, Georgia, was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder and armed burglary. The victims, his roommates, both 19, were found shot and killed in a dreadful scene that left the community in disbelief.
Is 19-year-old Damon Kemp tonight facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. The 2 victims, both just 19, attended high school in Palm Beach County, and we're learning one of the young men, Trey Ingram, was living in Daytona Beach, while the other victim, Jordan Payton, was visiting at the time of their murders.
Are there a lot of students that live in this complex? Yes, sir. Are most of them BCU students? Yes, sir. And is it normally a place where murders happen? No, sir.
From the moment Kemp was wheeled into court for his trial, an unsettling aura gripped the room. The once quiet young man appeared tormented, seemingly battling invisible demons, his face contorted with a mix of rage and despair as he screamed out "God" multiple times, startling everyone in the courtroom.
And
His
God's
eerie
gonna leave
silence
you right there,
following the
bro.
outbursts was as chilling as the screams. The judge, unfazed, proceeded with the hearing. denying him bond.
I do believe that there is probable cause for the arrest.
What is this, bro? Is this supposed to be intimidating? This dude look like he playing peekaboo.
Denying him bond.
I do believe that there is probable cause for the arrest. And under these circumstances, I am not able to grant you bond or any form of pretrial release.
The prosecution and defense exchanged heated arguments, the tension in the courtroom palpable. Despite his crime's severity, Kemp's defense pleaded for leniency, pointing to his mental state. Yet, the heart...
See, I feel like you can't point to mental health all of a sudden simply because you got in trouble. Now, if you have a record or you have any paperwork, track record, history, resume that correlates with, the crime committed as far as mental health is concerned, then okay. But I've seen people claim mental health right when they get in trouble. Crazy.
Heart-wrenching testimonies from the victims' families painted a picture of the irreparable damage and anguish caused by Kemp's actions.
I called him a child of God so that he understand he had a higher purpose in this world. He used to say that he wanted to be
it's definitely an act.
And,
it's definitely an act.
Dangerous.
In May.
Because no way out after they did what they did besides to try to act insane. So the judge sees right through it. They see it all the time. They do like 20 cases a day for hours, and I'm pretty sure they've seen like the most wildest stuff in the world because they deal with the most heinous criminal acts on a daily basis like it's nothing.
The gavel sealed Kemp's fate as he was found guilty, sentencing him to 3 life terms. The eerie calmness after his outbursts felt like the lull after a devastating storm. Damon Kemp's courtroom meltdown was a window into the disturbing and sometimes dark realities that unfold in courts. But how does his meltdown compare to the mind-numbing case of Kenneth
Freeman? Because I know what mental instability looks like, and it doesn't look like this.
Felt like the lull.
He looks like he's just forcing it.
After a devastating storm. Damon Kemp's courtroom meltdown was a window into the disturbing and sometimes dark realities that unfold in courts. But how does his meltdown compare to the mind-numbing case of Kenneth Freeman?
I like this mother son.
Kenneth Freeman, a name that sent chills down Milwaukee, Wisconsin, when he brutally murdered a 33-year-old nurse practitioner.
Investigators also say Freeman hid behind a pole in a Freighter Medical College parking garage, violently attacked Bowden, drove her to a different parking garage, leaving her there bleeding under her own car. She later died.
As the courtroom's doors swung open for Freeman's hearing, a tense silence hung in the air, but it didn't last long. Within minutes, Freeman erupted into a tirade of screams.
See, it's something with the screams, bruh. Screaming memes. Screaming memes.
Screams and curses, revealing a terrifying lack of restraint.
I do have reason to believe that competency is an issue in this case.
Well, I was going to say, this mother son.
Left with no choice, the sheriff's deputies deployed a stun gun through his ankle bracelet to subdue him, leaving the courtroom in stunned silence.
Yeah, hit with a stun gun. That's funny.
Victims and their families looked on, their faces flooded with horror and disbelief at the scene unfolding before them. The gavel struck, marking the end of the hearing. Kenneth Freeman was sentenced to life in a mental institution, bringing some closure to his victims' loved ones. Kenneth Freeman's
life in a mental institution, bro. And I guarantee you it's not a good one at all. Not all I'm not saying mental institutions are bad, but all of them aren't good either. Like that would go jail, like jail and mental institute. I think, bro. It really depends, circumstance wise, but oh my gosh.
Courtroom meltdown was a stark display of uncontrolled rage. As we delve deeper into courtroom meltdowns, next, we uncover more shocking courtroom scenes with our next case, Martez Abram.
Stop it. Look at the screen, sir.
Yes.
That's you shooting him?
Yes.
And you admit that you shot him in cold blood?
Yes.
Let's see.
Martez Abram's name will forever rest in infamy in South Haven, Mississippi. On a fateful day in 2019, he walked into the local Walmart, aiming to settle a workplace dispute with bloodshed.
Now to the latest on that deadly shooting at a Walmart in Mississippi. This morning, we're learning about more about the victims killed by a disgruntled employee who opened fire.
It was July 30th, 2019, when Abram, angry from a recent suspension, decided to enact his revenge. Heavily armed, he stormed the Walmart, shooting and killing two managers, Brandon Gales and Anthony Brown, and injuring a South Haven police officer.
He was laying on the ground with his eyes open, full of blood, and I ran up to him. I kneeled down, and I looked at him. I said, Anthony, honey, please say KC one more time. Just say KC one more time.
Brandon was the most loving and caring, hardworking young man that I know. And he truly loved his family.
As tension peaked in the courtroom, everyone was caught off guard by the sudden capitulation of Abram as an open meltdown took him over.
Stop it. Look at the screen, sir.
Yes.
That's you shooting him?
Yes.
And you admit that you shot him in cold blood?
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay, so they're showing his act on screen. I'm sure it has like a different psychological effect when you see yourself doing something bad, and especially knowing that everybody saw it. Oh yeah, of course, he definitely stunned him purposefully, for sure.
Now it's time for justice. A guilty verdict has been turned in by the jury, and the judge is about to lay down the sentence.
In count one, I will sentence you to death. Count two, you will be sentenced to death.
It's not necessarily that he's being sentenced to death. It's how calm she's saying it. Like, count one, you're being sentenced to death. Count two, you're being sentenced to death. What? Remember, this is Mississippi. This is Mississippi.
In count three, you will be sentenced to life.
The cold-blooded acts of Martez
How does
Abram
that work,
dramatic...
though? A life sentence is like, I think it's 90 years or 99 years. How do you get 2 death sentences and then a life sentence? I don't get it. So is it... I don't get that.
Courtroom confession leave one to wonder about the thin line between a mundane workplace dispute and a murderous rampage. But as shocking as this case was, it pales in comparison to the chilling courtroom meltdown of Seth Welch. Seth Welch, a strange father with unconventional beliefs that would ultimately lead to an unthinkable tragedy. Welch and his wife, Tatiana Fusari, faced the charge of starving their baby girl, Mary, to death. The horror unfolded in Cedar Springs, Michigan, where the couple's negligence led to the heartbreaking demise of their 10-month-old daughter.
I believe I'm being unfairly charged and being made an example.
Yeah, I remember this one. This one's they deserved every bit of that sentencing, though.
For my very strong faith and the trying times that are ahead.
The courtroom was tense as the trial proceeded. Every eye was on the couple as the damning evidence was laid bare.
Didn't seem smart to me that you would be
I gotta go check whatever is in my eye, but I'm gonna let this run because I've seen this one.
saving people who...
Welcome to Flatiron School.
This is where you learn how the future works, where the whole point of education is to get you a job in a career you love. At Flatiron, you can graduate in as little as 4 months, not 4 years. The school of the future is finally here. Flatiron School. Change things.
Ready to bring your brand into the real world? Shopify is ready for that too. With a retail point of sale solution that lets you sell in stores.
Who weren't the fittest. If evolution believes in survival of the...
You said best way to get someone into a mental institution is to call in and tell them they are in danger to themselves and others, and that they have a weapon, and claim they're insane. Saw it on Insta.
The fittest, well then why are we vaccinating everybody? Shouldn't we just let the weak die off and let the strong survive?
Bro thought he said something, bro. What? Boy, sit down. Whose man's, bro? He really thought he ate that up. Somebody get him.
Evidence was laid bare.
Didn't seem smart to me that you would be saving people who weren't the fittest. If evolution believes in survival of the fittest, well then why are we vaccinating everybody? Shouldn't we just let the weak die off and let the strong survive?
Throughout the trial, it became evident that not only did Welch ignore the well-being of his daughter while she was alive, but he also...
When I see stupid people, I just want to see the face of mom and dad be like, you raised this person, bro.
So did not report her death to the cops until after 90 minutes of finding her lifeless body.
How long ago did you find this child?
It's about an hour and a half. I was waiting. I called my lawyer first thing to ask, what's the next thing I could do. And they said, wait till they're here to call, the police and get that going. Basically, it got to the point where I was waiting so long, I just kind of went ahead and did it anyway. And we were almost here, so I was waiting on legal counsel.
As a recording of his cold 911 call was replayed in court, signs of cracks appeared as Seth Welch's mask came undone, the first sign of a crisis from within.
Are there any other children in the home right now?
Yeah. Because I didn't know if I was supposed to call the police or not. I had no idea what to do.
Okay. We will send someone out. We're going to investigate. When was the last time you had contact with a child?
Last night, yesterday afternoon, about 3 p.m. She goes to bed.
Now the trial has come to a conclusion, and Welch's fate is sealed. Infuriating evidence of callous disregard for his daughter's welfare. The world held its breath.
On the count of felony murder, count 1, guilty of felony murder as charged. On count 2, guilty of first-degree child abuse as charged, and consistent with the instructions that the jury was given, there are no other boxes that are marked.
Now, as Seth Welch faces the consequences of his actions, the haunting...
This is what I remember from his court case, his mouth dropping when he heard how much he's sentenced to. But people think that it's always going to be less than what it actually is.
Memory of his daughter's suffering lingers. But how does his courtroom drama compare to the
they don't even tell. So it's 35 years that he got. He was thinking that he was probably going to get like 20. Boy got 35. Yeah, it's a baby. Yeah. We shall see. Who's the strongest? Yeah, he's gonna definitely see, and his wife is definitely gonna see, because they are both accountable for that bull crap. I think his wife got a little less. I think she got 20 years, but he got 35. So that's crazy. If you're already 35, and boy, what? Imagine the world. Oh my gosh, man.
Displayed by Ronnie O'Neal.
Yeah, this dude crazy. I've seen nothing. I have seen nothing but memes of this guy everywhere, and I don't know what his court case is about. So we about to find out. He's screaming though. Kind of reminds me of Chris Tucker a little bit. I don't know why.
All right, Mr.
Oh yeah, that's what he's from. Hold on, let me back that up.
By Ronnie O'Neal.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, all
right, Mr. O'Neal.
Hey, that's what I feel like when I set up plans for my friends to go out, and everybody decides to be late. This is a meme session. All right, when you set plans with your friends, and everybody just decides to be late. This is when you give more than a week notice, and then you set reminders, and they decide to play with your time.
By Ronnie O'Neal.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, all right,
I'm not.
Mr. O'Neal, please stop using swearing.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Nobody they're the scummiest of scummy. Anybody that like either assaults a child, anything like that, it's like anything with children, then women, and then anything else after that is top tier. You're the scummiest of anything. Like you could have killed, murdered anybody else, but anything to do with like children and women, they do not play.
Language is not appropriate in a closing argument.
The courtroom was tense as the trial of Ronnie O'Neal commenced.
That hair is crazy. He has to be from Florida. With this type of hair, he got to be from Florida or probably Louisiana or something.
The charges were as chilling as the calm demeanor of O'Neal in court. The date was March 18th, 2018, when tragedy struck. O'Neal brutally abused, kidnapped, raped, and murdered his girlfriend and their 9-year-old daughter, also attempting to kill his...
How does that make sense, bro? I've never understood that. I understand how, but how do you R-word your wife, girlfriend? They already like you. You had to do something so obscenely wrong that they don't want anything to do with you, that they're just about to break up with you or whatever the case, and then you R-word them, bro. They're obviously there with you either, well, I guess in that case because they're scared to leave or whatever the case may be, but I've never put those pieces together as far as like how that is a possibility for that to be a thing.
Struck. O'Neal brutally abused, kidnapped, raped, and murdered his girlfriend and their 9-year-old daughter, also attempting to kill his 11-year-old son in their Riverview, Florida home.
Florida! Got it. I told you. That's where I'm moving. Hey, you guys gotta pray for me.
And mom screaming at him.
And your father had a shotgun. What happened next? What did he do?
Oh, I think the son is testifying. I think that's what it is.
Mom ran in my sister's room. My mom ran in my sister's room and terrified into the closet. And then my dad said, "Come here and come kill the B-word."
But in a bizarre twist, O'Neal chose to represent himself in court. The tension escalated, reaching a boiling point as O'Neal cross-examined his own son. The courtroom held its breath as the young boy, displaying unimaginable courage, faced his father, recounting the horror. "You stabbed me."
Did you see me shoot your mom?
No.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
He had to redress his question. He's like, "Did I hurt you that night of this incident? Not the other days, but this one." Bro, what?
Imaginable courage, faced his father, recounting the horror. "You stabbed me."
Did you see me shoot your mom?
No.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
His defense was a concoction of denial and accusations against law enforcement for fabricating evidence. All through the trial, the jury came face to face with his unhinged tirade.
I asked him to tell the jury exactly what he saw that night. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Because he's playing a fraudulent recording of me beating Kenyatta Barron 15 times when that did not happen. And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it.
Bro, sit down. This dude think he in a movie. He think he damn, what his name is. Oh my gosh. Who plays the Equalizer, bro? What is that black man name, bro? I see his face, but I do. What is his name, bro? You know who I'm talking about. I'm looking it up right now. He think he Denzel Washington. That's who it is. Yeah. Boy, he think he Denzel. You are not Denzel. You are not Denzel. Sit your butt down.
And like I told you earlier, you will know the truth, whether in this trial or the next one. Better believe it.
Boys, he think he about to start up a I Have a Dream speech.
All right, Mr. O'Neill, please stop using swearing language. It's not appropriate in a closing argument.
His fate was sealed with a verdict that resonated through the courtroom, guilty on all counts. But it was what the judge said shortly after that put a conclusion to this horrible episode.
19 years I've been at this job. I've seen human beings killed at the hands of others in every way imaginable. You name it, I've seen it. Shootings, stabbings, drownings, suffocatings, blown apart by cars in DUI manslaughter cases. Horrible things. This is the worst case I have ever seen as far as the facts. So with that, on count one, Mr. O'Neill, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison with a minimum mandatory of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Count two, I will adjudicate you guilty, and adjudicate you guilty on count one as well. Count two, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison without the possibility of parole, consecutive to count one. On count three, I'm going to sentence you on the attempted murder, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison, running consecutive to counts 2 and consecutive to count 1. On count 4, on the arson, first-degree dwelling, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 30 years Florida State Prison to run consecutive to counts 1, 2, and 3.
Ronnie O'Neill's courtroom saga was a chilling narrative of a family torn apart. But as we delve deeper into the heart of darkness, we uncover tales of courtroom meltdowns that send shivers down the spine, just like the case of Keith Ferguson.
You can't give me the death penalty?
Wait, did he ask for death?
I'll see y'all in hell.
Like the case of Keith Ferguson.
You can't give me the death penalty?
He said, "Can you give me the death penalty?" He said no, and he said, "Fuck it."
I'll see y'all in hell.
Keith Ferguson, a name that will forever be remembered for all the wrong reasons, in Kalkaska Community, Michigan, charged with a double homicide.
If I had co-counsel,
Bro looked like white supremacy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Courtroom appearance was anything but remorseful. His brazen demeanor peaked as he openly gestured a middle finger at the courtroom, stunning attendees. As the trial unfolded, the disdain in Ferguson's actions was a stark contrast to the grave charges he faced. His nonchalant disposition only fueled the rising tension within the courtroom walls.
All right, I need to have you raise your right hand for me.
I'm leaving this
Okay,
court.
all right.
Pull me back from my cell.
Okay, stop.
His contempt was a stark insult to justice, highlighting a criminal's cold-heartedness, even when facing punishment.
Well, I'm not getting into any detail of what happened.
If you want to be guilty, you have.
Yeah, dude wants to get off easy. He wanted, yeah. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, just, you know, get me up out of here real quick. Unalive me real quick. All right, so to play a very, very, very minuscule devil's advocate for all of these individuals that are already in jail, waiting for their sentence, the conditions are, I mean, I think they're justified to a certain degree. I don't think the person that sold weed in comparison to the person that has committed mass arson should be in the same like type of situation. You get 1 hour out of your cell out of 24 hours. That's it. That's a lot of just pent up energy, and it's not good for anybody, honestly. Like, you can't expect any human being to act rational or normal, regardless of their sentence or whatever they did, and then to come into a civil court to act even more normal than you expect. Like, I think that's wild. But I mean, it is what it is. They did the crime. Now that's what they got to do it. So
You have to say what you did.
I'm not saying all right? Because of the respect and safety of my children, I'm not saying nothing, because they're going to see this. They don't need to hear that. Understand what I'm saying? You know, let's just make this painless and not. Give me my 100 years or whatever, and give me the out of here.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, well, do it.
Despite his brazen attitude, justice was served as Ferguson was sentenced to life in prison without parole. As Keith Ferguson's chapter closes, it unveils the dark reality of human nature in the face of law and order. But how does it compare to the case of Randall Moore, wife killer, kidnapper, and rapist,
Wow.
who's facing 3 life sentences against his former wife, Therese Ann Lynch? Lynch had left her husband and filed a protective order against him. This resulted in Moore kidnapping and killing his estranged wife.
Okay, 303 Adams been hit, officer down. Suspect's armed with 20 shells. Advises nobody come to the door as he will shoot again.
What you just heard was a 911 call placed from Officer Todd Rowland, who responded to the cries from the apartment, where he was then shot and wounded. Only moments later, Moore called 911 as well.
I didn't want to do any of this.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, all I wanted was my son. I just wanted to see my 7-month-old baby. That's all I cared about.
Luckily, shortly after this, Moore surrendered. Now, we go to his trial, where the prosecution opened by explaining the crimes Moore committed.
Physically assaulted her inside that apartment. And then he said, get in my car. And when she refused to get inside the car with him, he grabbed her like a piece of luggage and he threw her face first in the back seat of the car. Police officers announced to one another, there's a young female adult that is deceased inside the apartment. Ladies and gentlemen, they were wrong. That was not just a young female adult. That was Therese Ann Marie Moore.
Then, Moore's defense took the stand.
Randy Moore made mistakes that day, but those mistakes do not amount to murder in the first degree, kidnapping in the first degree. They do not amount to in the first degree or attempted murder.
Eventually, Therese Ann Lynch's mother got the chance to speak to Moore.
You did
to my daughter, Teresa Ann Marie Lynch, was evil, hateful, and despicable. You are now dead and rotting and repulsive to me.
But before she can finish, Moore interrupts.
Read the journal she wrote. She hated you.
Thank you, Judge.
She hated you.
Thank you.
You're a loser. That has got to be the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not saying what I did was any better, but I thought the reason my wife was and nagging all the time was because she was just that way. I had several no contact orders on me. And you know what the funny thing is? The day after a no contact order was put on me, that girl was laying in my bed with me. So she wasn't too worried about anything. It was just something to get a piece of paper to keep me away, but then they always came back. And I'll tell you point blank, I have not 1 ounce of remorse for Teresa Ann's death.
Yeah.
It could have all been prevented. All you had to do is let me see my kid. Now you're never going to see her again.
Moore went on a vile outburst, telling the victim's mother he had not a single ounce of remorse for what he did, justifying a heinous act right there in court. The judge, appalled by Moore's disdain, came down hard on this cold-blooded killer.
I can't believe what I've heard, but I am really glad you had your right of elocution and you could say everything that you said, because if anybody didn't know what a piece of work you were before you start talking, they know it now. And it's been said before, and it can't be said enough. You're cowards. You truly are cowards. You prey on women. They give you their love. They give you their trust, and you betray that. You betray it by physically and or mentally abusing these women. And they stay with you. And you guys just can't understand why they leave such wonderful men like you. I've been doing this 31 years. I've never, ever seen anybody like you. And I hope, really, I never ever see anybody like you again. The court doesn't allow me to punish you any more than I'm doing now. If I could, I would.
And now, Moore would learn his fate.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of kidnapping in the first degree, guilty of in the first degree, guilty of attempt to commit murder.
Randall Moore was sentenced to 3 life sentences. He remained emotionless as the verdict was read.
There is no way that this judge flipped the bird. Ain't no way. That's a AI Photoshop for sure. I ain't never seen that in my life. Pure evil. That looks kind of wild. I know there's one that's a little different. Exposing the NASA, or I thought that said NASA, NSA mass surveillance of America. Ooh, look, I'm not sure if you guys are like me. I like the conspiracy. What is it called? Like, what is it called? Deep web kind of stuff. Government stuff, like all the crazy stuff you ever think about is just like, that's the type of stuff I'm just like, I need to know what's going on in the back end, because curiosity be getting to me, bruh. You won't be able to go to sleep tonight? It's okay. It's okay. We ain't gonna do that. Not yet. Not yet. I forget there was. I know I got it somewhere. Watch later. Why? I got a lot of watch laters that I was gonna be filming. Some I've already done. Where is it? Alright, if I can't find that one, then I'm gonna do. There was another one, yo. Hopefully it didn't get deleted from YouTube. Worst horror movie I've watched was I Am Legend. I Am Legend. I wouldn't consider I Am Legend as a horror movie. I think it's more of like an end of the world apocalyptic movie, but not like a horror movie. I would dress a horror movie like Poltergeist and Annabelle and things of that nature. Let's see. Those are long. It's a case with insane twist. Oh, you know what I like watching? The To Catch a Predator joints. Those are good. Those are good. When the killer realizes his murder was recorded. Whoa, that picture looks a little wild. Trapped inside for 9 years is insane. 30 minutes after killing parents. The incest murders, that's crazy. Oh, it's not that long either. Detectives realize the mom is actually the killer. That's what's weird too, you know? I've seen actually I did it's actually on my playlist for the murder mystery crimes one. It was the last one that I did. Last one? Or the second one that I did, whichever one. But the person who called was the murderer. Like, the person who called about the situation that acted like she wasn't the murderer was the murderer. Like, what? I kind of want to see this one. But I kind of want to see this one too. I think I want to do this one first. That was a horror to you.
Hi, my name's Cody Sperber. I know your time's...
Look, I get it. I get it. But I guess in comparison to what I've seen personally, it's like that's like bottom of the barrel.
He killed his baby, and he's in the house. Okay, you said that he told you he killed his baby. Okay, ma'am, listen to me. What's your name?
When an adopted daughter decided to reconnect with her biological parents, she had no idea that it would be the worst decision of her life. Although she may have been looking for a rekindled relationship with her family, that relationship would take a disturbing turn for the worse. What is up, Iwu Crew? Today we will be following the destructive series of events that turned a man into a cold-blooded killer. They say blood is thicker than water, but when it comes to this case, it will be proven that father doesn't always know best. Let's get into it. As a young man in his early 20s, Stephen Pladel groomed an underage girl from San Antonio he had met over the internet. He decided to make the trek from his home in New York all the way down to Texas to meet the young girl. The year was 1995, and the girl was 15-year-old Alyssa. The pair's parents didn't stand in the way of their union, even though Alyssa was still a child at the time.
You see what I'm talking about? It's the parents' fault first. It is the parents' fault first. Like, why on God's green earth would you think that it'd be an amazing idea, like an amazing idea that your 15-year-old child gets into a relationship with an adult. Blows my mind.
The two continued their relationship, and Alyssa soon became pregnant just 2 years after meeting Stephen. On a January day in 1998, the young 17-year-old Alyssa went into labor, and together with her soon-to-be husband Stephen, welcomed a little girl into the world. Alyssa allegedly witnessed Stephen physically abusing their infant daughter, who they named Denise. According to Alyssa, he would pinch Denise so hard that he would leave bruises all over the defenseless baby's body. If that wasn't enough, she claimed that Stephen would even trap the baby in a cooler and diabolically wait until almost all the oxygen had run out before releasing her.
What?
But these were sadly only just a few of the alleged abuses his daughter would experience at her father's hands. Fed up, Alyssa stepped in and did one of the hardest things a mother could arguably do. She decided to give her baby up for adoption so that her 8-month-old could live and be happy. Stephen and Alyssa's daughter Denise was adopted by Anthony and Kelly Fusco, who were described as very kind and open-hearted people. They renamed the baby Katie, and she was sent to live with them in their happy home in Dover, New York. There, Katie would grow up to become an artistic young lady on her way to college. All the while, her birth parents, Stephen and Alyssa Pladel, remained together and had another daughter nearly...
You know the story will be good when they have a narrator. Yeah. Ew, and yes.
10 years after giving up Katie for adoption, felt that they were older now and more mature, and therefore more capable of raising children. They had a total of 2 children, both daughters. While the couple raised their 2 girls, tension between the pair increased. Alyssa said her ill-tempered husband's behavior continued throughout their marriage, saying, "He would destroy things in the home when he was upset, punching holes in the walls." Making matters worse was the claim that Stephen could not hold a steady job for nearly 8 years, leaving the burden of providing for him and their 2 children on Alyssa's shoulders. Stephen's unpredictability caused great concern for his wife. Alyssa would later describe Stephen's true character by saying, "I was always on eggshells. Whatever his mood was, everybody knew, and that mood was often not happy."
Psychologically, I think a lot of people stay together. Trauma bonding and possibly afraid for their life, afraid of a lot of things. And like I said, usually everything revolves around upbringing. So not being enough, seeing that they're probably the only person that could love them the way they do. Like, I've heard it all.
A lot of yelling, a lot of things smashed in the house in front of our kids. Joy returned to Stephen and Alyssa when they received a notification on their social media accounts. It was from their firstborn, Katie, who was now 18 years old. She had turned to the internet to help her track down her biological parents and was successful in locating them. After trading messages, Katie changed her plans of studying art in college. Instead, she moved down to Henrico, Virginia, to live with her newly found biological parents and younger sisters. Katie's adoptive parents were wary of the arrangement, but decided that she was old enough to make her own decisions.
Hell no.
Familial bonds were formed, but Katie's arrival would only push Stephen and Alyssa's marriage further apart. Stephen's behavior changed whenever he was around his daughter, Katie. Alyssa even pointed out that Stephen attempted to make himself look younger by shaving his beard and changing up his wardrobe. Noticing the growing kinship between
Boy, he said, I thought I did it.
Katie and Stephen, Alyssa felt the need to disclose to Katie the abuse she had suffered at the hands of her father when she was an infant. But the news didn't faze Katie. Instead, the father and daughter grew even closer. Things between Stephen and Katie took an awkward turn when the 40-year-old started sleeping on the floor of Katie's bedroom. Growing concerned by the situation, Alyssa asked Stephen why he felt the need to sleep in her room. He became confrontational and stormed out of the house.
Dog, that is so weird. I would be appalled that my 60-something-year-old dad would be like, I'm gonna sleep on your floor because I want to get closer to you.
His daughter had transcended normalcy. They had fallen in love. In November of 2016, still unaware of her husband's and daughter's intimate relationship, Alyssa moved out and filed for a divorce from Stephen. They split the custody of their 2 younger daughters, and Katie stayed in the home with Stephen. Now with nothing in their way, Stephen and Katie continued their incestuous relationship. It wouldn't be until the following May when Alyssa would finally realize the extent of the affection between her now ex-husband and their oldest daughter. It was a bombshell journal entry that detailed the unnatural relationship. The entry was written by Stephen and Alyssa's 11-year-old daughter. The young girl wrote, "Katie is pregnant. Dad says they feel like couples. Did they get a little too drunk that night? My dad is..." Adding, "He's Satan. He's Satan. He'll go to hell, but he won't be the one getting tortured. He'll be the one torturing people." In the journal, the young girl drew pictures of both her dad and sister, portraying them as demons.
Wow.
The entry concluded with, "Wait 1 sec."
That's for a little child to be as descriptive as she is, to say that they're not like just bad people. They're mean, they're unkind, they're not nice, but to say that they're demons, bro. And then to describe your dad as like him going to hell and not the one being tortured, but the one torturing people. That, you have to be doing something so heinous for a child to be so in tune with what's going on. Bro.
Second, if he's Satan and Katie is a human, then the baby will be half demon. Horrified about learning of the twisted love affair and the pregnancy, Alyssa later recounted, "I lost it. I started screaming. I felt like I was going to throw up." She then said that she immediately called and confronted her deranged ex about it. He responded, "I thought you knew. We're in love." Alyssa replied, "How could you? You're sick. She's a child." Alyssa tried to save.
I mean, let's back it up real quick. He dated her when she was 15. She got pregnant at 17. Had his now oldest child from that pregnancy, which is now 18, and got her pregnant. Dog. Yeah, parents allowing to grooming should be sentenced too. Facts. In love, yeah, wild. In this case, I think the daughter's traits were passed down exactly biologically by the evil father based on the story description that she grew up to loving loving, in a loving home. Her adoptive parents. Yeah, I think her adoptive parents should have really stepped in harder. But I truly believe that. I believe there's like generational curses. I believe that there's biological like makeups that are infused into children and your offspring, habits, and addictions that are passed down as well, like vices that are passed down as well. I mean, obviously, the fact that dude impregnated a child and then now is having a relationship, and on top of that, a child with his child. What?
Her daughter once again by calling the police to report the now known incest.
Bro, this is like some stuff like you don't even do in video games, bro. Yep, generational curses are true. They are very real.
Although police interviewed the two younger daughters, neither Stephen nor Katie were placed under arrest, and they continued living together under the same roof.
Bro, they should not be like, bro, this should not be a thing to where people are able to repopulate. Incest should be a crime against humanity.
On the warm summer day of July 20th, Stephen and Katie decided to take their relationship to the next level. They traveled to Maryland to get married. Father and daughter marriages are not legal in the state of Maryland, so the couple lied about being related on their marriage application, and as a result, were able to legally tie the knot. As if the wedding wasn't already disturbing enough, in attendance were Stephen's mother, Grace, alongside Katie's adoptive parents, and
so I don't know why anybody's smiling in this picture, bro. Let me get this straight. They're having a wedding. The lady on the right is that dude's mom, which would mean that the lady on the right is his wife's, or that would be her grandma, but now her mother-in-law. And the people that adopted the child are the parents that raised her since she was a baby. Someone couldn't tell me this in conversation and I would believe this.
Anthony and Kelly Fusco. They can be seen in many disturbing photos, smiling and appearing to enjoy the
What, for real? Man, it needs to be a crime everywhere. This is appalling. Like, I don't understand. What, there's nothing appealing about this.
Wedding alongside Stephen and a very pregnant Katie. Apparently, Anthony and Kelly Fusco only attended because they felt that all they could do at that point was support their adopted daughter in her decision once again.
Just because someone makes a decision, that does not mean you have to support them. There's things called morals. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard of them? There's things called morals that people stand on. For instance, I'm not a smoker. I will never smoke. I never have. You can do what you want, but my friends that smoke aren't going to offer me a cigarette. They're not going to offer me weed, whatever. They know me as a person, my character. And it would be wrong for them to ask me because they know who I am. and they would be probably even appalled if I even asked them if I could smoke with them. That's just the morals that I stand on. I don't have to support what they do because I don't. That doesn't mean I like them any less, but that is crazy. Oh, we just want to be supportive of what?
A few short months later, on September 1st, 2017, Katie gave birth to a baby boy, whom they named Bennett.
Dude, she looks like she's 11, bro.
However, the happiness of their new marriage and young son didn't last long. Stephen and Katie were arrested 4 months later in January and extradited back to Virginia. Police administered DNA tests on Stephen, Katie, and their son Bennett to confirm their familial genetics. The two were officially charged with incest, adultery, and
So it is a crime. Why? I feel like they dressed the story up to like, hey, look, well, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people in Washington where I live, any people from Yelm, Elma, Tenino, Shelton, if you ever heard of those places, Yakima, definitely incest. It's like, if you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes and dang, what is that show? Shameless. That's exactly what it is. Guaranteed.
and extradited back to Virginia. Police administered DNA tests on Stephen, Katie, and their son Bennett to confirm their familial genetics. The two were officially charged with incest, adultery, and contributing to delinquency. In court, Stephen Pladle's attorney tried to justify the unlawful marriage by explaining, "This case is an 18-year-old girl who shows up at the doorstep of a 40-year-old man who's going through difficult times with his wife. They have a bond because they're biologically related, but they never knew each other before they had a sexual relationship. He was head over heels in love with her, so much so that outweighed the issue of them being biologically related." Stephen was able to post bail and was released first. The judge ordered him not to leave the state of Virginia and to not have any contact with Katie. However, the court did not deny Stephen access to his son Bennett, who was placed in the care of Stephen's own mother, Grace.
Bro, she is too old for this. Leave your mom alone. Like,
to leave the boy with Stephen's mother, who was 72, was described by Alyssa as a shocking failure. She continued, "Stephen shouldn't ever have been allowed back to North Carolina, where he had access to his house, his weapons, the baby. I can understand they like to put children in the hands of relatives, but not Grace. She wouldn't have been able to stop him seeing the baby even if she wanted to."
What up, Shabisky? How's it going, brother?
Katie was later released on bail and was also ordered not to have any contact with Stephen. She decided to move back in with her adoptive parents in New York. However, Katie broke the no contact order and called Stephen and told him that she wanted to end their relationship. Heartbroken, Stephen did not take the news well. All he had left in the world was Katie and the baby. Things then took a devastating turn.
There's no friends have an ass.
On April 11th, 2018, Stephen went to his mother's house to pick up his infant son, Bennett, telling her that he was going to take the baby up to New York to see Katie. His mother didn't try to stop him. She couldn't have imagined that handing over the little boy would be a death sentence for the helpless child. Stephen took the boy to his home in Knightdale, North Carolina, where he strangled him and left his tiny, lifeless body shuttered away in a closet. This was only the beginning of Stephen's murderous rampage. He left the house and proceeded to drive 600 miles through the night, up to New York, where he had planned to confront Katie. In the early hours the following morning, Stephen arrived at the home of Anthony and Kelly Fusco. He sat and patiently stalked the family from inside his blue minivan. He was familiar with the Fusco's family routine, and he knew they would eventually leave to visit Katie's adoptive grandmother in Connecticut. As expected, Katie and Anthony emerged from their house and pulled out of the driveway in their Toyota pickup truck. Stephen followed closely behind in his minivan. Stephen couldn't hold back his rage any longer, and when the Fusco's truck came to a stop, he pulled up beside them and began firing upon them. With every shot fired, he unloaded his fury onto Katie and Anthony Fusco, killing them both in cold blood. An off-duty firefighter was there to witness the massacre and was the one to make the 911 call to first report the double killings. The firefighter described the horrific scene to dispatchers.
911, what's the location of your emergency? Hello, this is Connecticut. It's on Route 7 and Route 55. Someone just went by and shot this guy in the truck.
Somebody just shot somebody in a truck on Route 55, sir?
Yes, right at the beginning of Route 55 and Route 7. It just happened. I'm a fireman out of New York. The car pulled up, went around him, shot him. Whole clip full into his head.
Okay, sorry. Are you still with him?
We're here at the road.
Where? Right at the intersection?
Yes, sir, right at the intersection.
Okay, sir.
He's deceased, boss. The truck's in the middle of the road.
He's dead?
Yes, sir. His brains are on the road.
And he was shot. Did you see the person who shot him?
Yeah, we pulled up. There's a whole, yes.
Who? Okay, which way did the vehicle go?
Headed toward New Milford, down Route 7.
Down Route
south.
7? Can you describe the vehicle to me?
It's a blue minivan with, I believe, a South Carolina plate.
Blue minivan, South Carolina plate?
Yes, sir. A light blue minivan.
Okay, sir, just stay on the line with me.
911 dispatchers soon received another phone call. This time it was Stephen's mother, Grace. In the call, Grace described what Stephen had just confessed to her, telling dispatchers about the dead baby boy and how Stephen had killed Katie and her dad.
He killed his wife, he killed her father, and I can't even believe this is happening. He left the baby dead when he left.
Stephen's mother cried out to the dispatcher. 5 miles from the scene of Katie and Anthony Fusco's slaying, police found Stephen's vehicle, but Stephen was in no condition to be arrested. He had shot himself, and his motionless body sat slouched in the driver's seat of the running vehicle. Stephen's ex-wife, Alyssa, eventually looked back on the events and said, "It's been a difficult roller coaster of emotions because I'm so devastated by the loss of Katie and her adoptive dad and baby. But it's such a relief that I don't have to look over my shoulder anymore to see if Steve is there."
That is so wild, man.
Were you
like, the way that ended was crazy. Why did they allow him access to? I don't know. I have zero clue. Papers aren't going to, like, that doesn't stop anybody. They're just telling you, hey, don't do this. Okay. Crazy. Case almost so disturbing to mention.
In August 2018, 27-year-old Megan Cordy and her mother, Jennifer Weathers, attended the wedding of a family friends in Yamhill County, Oregon. What should have been a fun evening of dancing and celebration would end in anything but. While on their way home that night, something happened to Megan. Only 3 people know the real truth about what unfolded. One of them is no longer alive to tell the tale. The other claims Megan simply got out of the car and vanished. And the third was just 3 years old, sitting in her car seat when she saw her mother for the last time. Too young to be able to say what really happened. The case of how Megan Cordy found herself at the bottom of an embankment along the edge of a Dayton road is one filled with inconsistencies and intense frustration. This is her story. Megan Cordy was born in December 1990 to parents Jennifer Weathers and Anton Cordy. She was the older sister to one younger brother, Jacob. Not much is known about Megan's childhood or upbringing. Her father, who went by Tony, was the former Clackamas fire captain, and she lived in Oregon. Megan welcomed a beautiful little girl into the world in 2015, naming her Gia. Gia was Megan's entire world. There was nothing she wouldn't do for her, and the pair were extremely close. Megan's aunt, Tracy, described her niece as the type of person who loved to make others smile. She didn't take life too seriously and would happily act silly if she knew it would cheer someone up. One of the first things people would notice about Megan was her brilliant smile. As cliché as it may sound, she really did light up a room. On August 18th, Megan, her mother Jennifer, and her 3-year-old daughter Gia attended a family friend's wedding at Heiser Farms, an events venue and pumpkin patch. It is located in a rural area, quiet and idyllic, seemingly the perfect place to celebrate a couple's love with those closest to them. The day before, Megan and her mom had gotten into an argument about which of them would be the one to drive out to the wedding venue, an area they were not familiar with. Jennifer wanted Megan to take her own vehicle so she could take her daughter back if Gia got tired and did not finish Jennifer's evening of partying. In the end, Jennifer was the one who drove them there. Whether either of the women had an alcohol problem is unknown, but with the events that unfolded in the following hours, it's clear to say that alcohol certainly played a significant role. The couple had a beautiful ceremony followed by a lively reception. The drinks were flowing, and everyone was having a good time. Everyone, it seemed, except for Megan and Jennifer, both of whom had been drinking. Guests witnessed the pair getting into an argument about something. It was heated, and Jennifer was allegedly noticeably intoxicated at the time. Some saw her swaying and said she was between a 6 to 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 of drunkenness. Certainly not someone you would want behind the wheel. Gia started to get tired.
Oh, this was boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. This was like, all right, just normal average day at the club. Kind of just want to see a quick one before I get off. I got to get some sleepy sleep. Kind of want to see. All right. Gotta go. Thanks. Spending time. Hey, thank you for spending time.
Analytics, you don't need previous
I appreciate
experience.
it. It's always fun. You know what I'm saying? Always fun. So trust and believe. I'm gonna try to get it in just a little bit more every week. handles for real. Bop. Oof. That boy definitely riding though. Them roads are thin, boy. That boy got dips too. He's just not as fast as the police motorcycle. Boys on go mode. Ooh. Yeah, police just catch up. You can't really do too much though. Like a motorcyclist on a motorcyclist as a police officer. You honestly just gotta wait till they stop or get into an accident or whatever. But you can't really do too much. Ooh. Well, that's big ups for the police officer being able to hang with them, yo. That's crazy. Ooh, ooh. Wow, he really dipped that. Bop. Wow. That boy can ride for real. Although he's not going crazy fast, I believe anything, if he had a 600, he'd be gone for sure. At this point, I feel like you ran out of all possibilities just to. Ooh. Did he get away? Yo, he's going crazy. Oh, wow. He really got. That's crazy. That was a crazy run. Someone once said, beware of those who watch crime mystery as a bedtime story. Hey, appreciate everybody that stopped by. Thank you so much. I will be posting all throughout the day, and stay tuned to those. And for tomorrow, it's gonna be good. I promise. I'll see you guys later. Peace.